all built. Yana nanom menewo any build cocoa board and a cocoa board ya bedru ha. John Mahama nyanse won the team ni NDC for oma build what we call gold board. Inti ye drew ha. Ye bedi san komono. Ye magana fo nyina ate ase na obi ehun se ampa ensam keka any ahoya any ntwato so no. It is because we as a people collectively ye call parliament and ye kwaji gold board too mu. Inti juma dia gold board edi no edi amawo enemy, and we have every right to make sure you protect the gold board. Now san komono me drew what I will do is say may tia, but Ghana ni bia beti ase, and then I bet you the difference between this platform and any other platform out there. That will be the difference between this platform and any other platform. More Holland, more Germany, more UK, more America. Sebio uskuni nkwenim abrochene wotukwa na obo bra, more fie ebia uskuni nkwenim nyoma bebre mo kana ebi wana aha ene ekire de ekwase aha ene edwudwom aha ene ma Ghana fo hu de ekwankasa. Inti yedru Kevin Taylor ba the platform no enie me team no are ready ye ba bedwudwom. Now before we enter the wagon, team, are we good? Okay, if we are good, then we can move on. Now before good evening to the one and only, good evening to the one and only sophisticated, international, respectable, solid bouncer in Accra. In Accra, no, one of the most professional bouncers and security guards. Ghana. You cannot do away. And this guy is called Abraham Fufu Cash. And I think a lot of people know this guy, one of the best. In fact, I would say sometimes over the TBB. I've been in Ghana for about, I think my work Ghana about 6 weeks. Now, that kind of reception from security personnel or protect a particular place. Now, there's one guy that I have always respected when it comes to professionalism, when it comes to somebody being diligent in his work, and is this head bouncer at Alora Beach. His name is Abraham Fufu Cash. I have personally dealt with him. Abraham Fufu Gasu, that's his name, sorry. Abraham Fufu Gasu, made a friend captain. And to be very honest with you, one of the best in Accra. Oko Alora Beach, their head bouncer, Abraham Fufu Gasu, the best bouncer, reception-wise, respect-wise. You can't bouncer a wabotre to make sure, say, Bibia at the entrance till we get down, you sit and all that. And you can't go wrong when it comes to Abraham Fufu. So he's the head bouncer Alora. Boss, I wa ball rough when I name bonefe. Also boha no abachia. Oboha wa bo now to say name bono NCC so high 60, high 72. Akwana bo uniformly. Just say, oh, so or gym no or tam da na on tam they say or tam da any straight. Akwana boy fe. Now ocean like was now chest na ready be Fofo. Also, because Jim, Akwani a solid guy. When you go to Alora, ask for the head bouncer, Abraham Fufu Gasu, or the head bouncer, Alora Beach. I went to Ghana. I spent a lot of time there with my family, and this guy is exceptional. The services at Alora too is beautiful. I really like the way almost services good, and food is great. A few places I visited in Accra. I will talk about those places, but for now, dear, I can tell you, say in Accra, Bole. Captain Fofo Abraham Gasu Alora head bouncer mo bianco ho na Jack o man charge so na se o kase o de gina wo ha on sa macho man phone bebre wo ha o muni blow to but Abraham blow to o blow na on say your punch na your punch or no o hwe ahase no na o de gina wo bon finfin o ma o se ganyan ma on ba biom because we sua blow mu technique on say blow your technical different kinds of blow your triplet. I don't know, be to me, but now I say a chew. Any of Eddie and cocknack, and I had to say, we phone blue, macho man, we phone blue, not the BBS say. But Abraham, there no a punch, and then the friend hit tough, or bow bondo so. Now I say, what give best 6 months, not a one no Eddie, a better that. This guy is one of the best. A friend Abraham Gasu Fofo Alora Beach bouncer. The picture ni come the chemo. Me any trap picture. Some so body net de any mienu. Ye say no homo any trap picture no. I quite me advert Abraham. Me what to so girls in the bar my fro. Hey Abraham, I heard you. They were talking about you on Kevin Taylor was talking about you. Hey Abraham. If you make any mistake, I'll tell your wife. It's girls in the bar. Abraham, I heard you. They were mentioning your name. Now Lucina's hey Abraham, concentrate. Abraham, maintain. Alora head bouncer, Abraham Gasu. Thank you very much, chef. Okay, now, free promo for bouncer. I Obia Bagana be open the best bouncer, Abraham Gasu. Now, as we speak, your city now trading at 11.3 to $1. Dede Koso, Nipebi, try say, for a long time, if there's one thing you can respect about this government, John Mahama's government, the consistency when it comes to how strong the city has been. In fact, Aban Weber power is almost 2 years. Now, majority of businessmen, businesses in Ghana, the confidence they have in this government, the government has been able to keep the cedi, the dollar, the rate, the pace consistently. And that is what should tell you about a government that is intelligent. I already said protect or mine. Whatever a government does, the moment you are not able to make sure there is confidence in your currency, the dollar does not at the end of the day suppress your economy. That is all that a third world country like Ghana, we the voters ask for all the time. 99% of the people who voted in 2024 NPP in Kwasiafo, it was because most of them no more say. Most of them are no more kwanso, no musika shit. Internally, amount for no mudija. Now they could not trust it because every single day we saw the dollar move all the way to like 17 at a point. And when you have a government that cannot tame the dollar, that cannot make sure that there's some consistency, sa abaina na Baumia Ekufuado Abina, not Omwejiminti. They could not figure it out how to make sure, say, the Ghanaian businessman, the foreigner who is investing in Ghana or is in Ghana, will believe in the economy. No? That NPP Abina Omwejiminti, they could not do that. But today, from 2025, EBC Enda Menokasi, the currency of the cedi has been very, very consistent. And every businessman, whether internationally or locally, that is all that they need. Say, or full plane every Accra, Japan, and now China, Akofanyoma, Onimse Oti plane Mukrampodo, that dollar to cedi, it is not going to change. If it is going to even change, it is going to be marginal. But because a marginal, one your crampa is insignificant, so you might not even see it. And that is what this NDC government has done. When you are a government, I would third world country where people depend on more imports, where people buy and sell, the most important thing you need to do is to keep your currency there, in a place where it is consistent, where the market can believe in. And that is what they have done. And that is the basic thing every Ghanaian businessman, every ordinary Ghanaian wanted. And we are seeing it. So, and then it showed the difference between NDC by where John Mahama Dano and the leadership are making sure the economy is so and it's Ankwasiafo from NPP for Baumia ebe dada na junior say Jiminti, we are still going to fall for their gimmicks, comedy, foolish, corrupt attitude. They know that we are no more stupid again. And nobody can use tribe, nobody can use defamation, nobody can use in Katoswa to win power in Ghana. It's done. So this alone should tell you that this is a government that can be trusted. When you see the dollar, when you see the cedi being consistent, being stable, it means your job is protected as a businessman. It means your investment, why no bank, and that's why no anything, it is being protected. So to be catch say, the government or this government making sure say dollar does not swallow the cedi, it is enough because technically, they are being the watchdogs. They are protecting every investment. Ye pe changing government, ye pe changing government. Ni nyina say and sabekoya no. Ni nyina say adwuma begina. Ni nyina say sika ye sie no enhye. And this is what the NDC government is doing. The NDC government is basically doing what? Protecting you, your investment, whatever you are doing now, whatever you think of doing in the future. And that is what I want you to understand. Abano juma. And this about Emma governance are simple. We all saw the NPP, Bawumia NPP, how they came into power, their foolishness to the highest level, Jimie, corruption, and it's sika through gold for oil policy, how they stole from you through NAPCO, how they stole from you through so many fake policies they put together. And nobody can walk in Ghana and point to a dam and say, out of Bawumia policy into dam way yejuma. Nobody. Those people were daft. They were high-grade criminals parading in Ghana as politicians. Nobody can walk and say, one district, one factory. We built it from scratch, NPP, and this is where people are working, Ebini Ghana. So it should tell you that these are imposters, filthy, dirty people who think that they are so entitled to power. But today we are seeing a government in power today, a government that is protecting you, your assets. A government that is protecting whatever you are putting your money in. That is why you see the dollar. So every time you see the city no akosrokrana at 12 and do 12, and that is what consistency mean. And so what to Obama NDC now who believes that your government, your life, your investment is being protected. Why do you change your mind? Abaibo ni nyansa sika beba unsem ujetre nshi. Aban ni nyina no. Na sa obeya aban na oba na dollar ni koduru 17 na the DDEP ba na sa wogigin kofo sika na wo sa eye galamsey se man na do kwase akotena nchen 2 years ba wo se wo to keka ma otumi nwan. Why na mfa tumi ma jimini? Why na mfa tumi ema kwase a obu ni nkofo kwase a? We lived in Ghana na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ankasa sector minister from Pobwati at the report man say sa kwase afo we na etu egudie efri inwurem esensuo Samia Wuku Kojo Pon Kroma Chema Huntumi Obubo Dimbo Gabi Din na wom Yetena Kroma Akufo-Addo achichidie we na no nsuo ka kire say he wasn't going to act on it. At a point he defended Chema Huntumi Kromfu tetwa amoaboaten. Are you people stupid? In the 2 years you remfi into NDC enye bibi nti yanya den emwa. We are talking about people who are rational, and now Ghanaians are rational. Obia to me surround upon Kotena Koko so can kwasi accept, we will correct you. Jimmy Nibia to me Kotena Peace FM, and yana to can bebube, we will correct you. Ofu Bia to me Kotena Sempa, Jimmy Nibia to me Kotena Radio think I say, yeah dear, ya can't move in kebi. No, we have opened the doors for people to be able to explain things, understand issues in a basic form so that they make decisions moving forward. That decision in Ghana for year in 2024. So, somebody said that 1992 and more because we have left that stage. We are at a point where people are practically seeing what a government is doing. Go around the nation and see the effects of this government. How roads are being built all over the place. Yetiane ka say ye ba be ye den ye be ye Kumasi Accra Express Road ye nyankwasiafo NPP mu e ka kire Ghana for say ye mpene emmoa. Ghana does not revolve around a tribalistic, stupid, ungrateful party. No. Ghana is for Ghanaians, and what we want to do is what we will do. Inti sa monkwasi adwene na da mutirimu no. Ya MPP for until we deserve power no. As we live and Almighty Allah is alive, you people will never see power. Yes. This government is not a perfect one, but at least when we nipa. This government is not a perfect one, but ya de toto monkwasi afo we mu ye nipa. And we will always live with humans. And it does not matter how you feel. Let me tell you, people. The way you feel, no, it will not change how we do our things. It will not change how Ghanaians think now. The way you feel about John Mahama, how you hate Samis Jemfi, how you hate the NDC young men working up and down, how you feel about Ato Forson, it will not change what this government is doing, because this government is on the right track. I'm not going to sit here and say the government has gotten everything right. No. But this is a living being. So we are not going to give you people that space. Now, no, you bebu some questions. And so when you know what Jimmy, you best kwasia. So when you know Nimyansa, you de and some pababuao, you be boy in some amount. Now we are Korana with Jimmy Cradia and the winning of Bodam, Yan Chimau. We are not going to entertain this kind of retrogressive, stupid thinking. Yeah, MPP for Nanti mama yantuma NDC biom. Mama yeninji the NDC ho. Ni ama mutumi ana. Mo de yeden. The NPP. What do you need power for? Kwasiafo. What do you people need power for? Mon can't say them to me. Mo de bayeden. Because you are looking at the numbers now. Are you going to bring the numbers down? Mo de to me ne yeden. That is what you need to tell the people. Ya mama to me 8 years. In 9. You exhibited the highest form of monkeyism. Yehu dia mo ye wo Ghana kronim. Yehu dia mo de ya ahemfo. Yehu dia mo de ya asofo. Mo de billions ko tu amena donko eda ho da ho e creating tontom won kran inwan. So yenya den. Yen sesan ya adwene. Yen tam to me mamo na mo fa nya den. Emmoa. Bo da mo nya nipa enti say ya na ebekọ no. Yentam to me mamo. Ana Mahama nye say ana ba NDC4 ana saminya fi enti yenya den. Yentam mamo na munya den. And we need to know these things. And Ankwasi Akika, tomorrow is pregnant. Power when power will change again. Tomorrow is pregnant. We will see if power changes tomorrow, that power will change again. Nobody can intimidate anybody with power will change. Tomorrow is pregnant. And Kwasiafo, we also with them NPP, we be them. Mopa munchi obiya to munya power. But today, if you are guilty and the law says you have to ube them, Kwasiafo, na muji sa muche obi ogana nana. And nobody's scared of power will change. Nobody's scared of tomorrow is pregnant. Whoever is guilty today and needs to be jailed needs to go inside. 50 years or so go jail. When you get that power, when that table turns, it will turn again. Kwasiafo, mum bom hom bodin, mum bremo wase, mum sumpa Ghana for chow, mum yimu hom famo tunsi for men trimu twase, and fama nunko bu to gatem na mun gatem sun kwasiafo guy say tomorrow is pregnant. When tomorrow gives birth, it will give birth again. Munya to me, mo de yaden. Ye busamo. De bia mo betena TV so, mo betena radio so, mo betena Facebook, na mu kike no. The question is, mo de to me ne yaden. Ye mu de mo de to me ya na, mo de to me ne yaden. Yete ha na sledge ne Samira etwempena kwasiafo, mo de to me ne yaden. Sledge odi Samira. Mo konko busa Samira. Mo de to me no yaden. Mo nim de eba kwasiafo. And I would like to tell the Attorney General, I would like to tell the Yoko boss, we want to know the investigations you did when it comes to Sledge's wife. And we want the OSP to also let us know about Sledge, the $97 million our GD, you know. We want to know how the investigations has gone. We want to know. Kwasiafo mudimi ahu yabe pai mo party ne to. Mesumu kobuta Samira. Sledge no ne twempa no odi no. Enitina OSP does not want to touch a Sledge issue no. He needs to touch it. Yebe pai party ne to. We want Raymond Archer, stop covering up nonsense at Yoko and don't make Relax Rasta your spokesperson. We want to know how far with our investigations because you cannot be hunting a woman. Abra ni kuruna yeche no. Everybody thinks say yenja Sledge man because Sledge used Samira and Baumia to buy his way out. No. So this Samira is not a problem, but we want to get to the bottom of the $97 million. So Raymond Archer should understand he cannot use that office to intimidate anybody in Ghana. He needs to get it right. If you are doing what is right, it's right. I don't care. But make sure the principle now will apply, apply it fairly. And the OSP, that OSP working in Ghana, or say what Sledge or your investigations, I want to know. We all want to the investigation. We want to know how it went, how it's going. We just hear Jimmy at Ghana. You can see a bobo video hand come to Matina Kronim. You can see a can sama. Why not Matina Kronim? We want OSP and Yoko come out with the findings of your investigations. This is just 1 week. Raymond Archer is not the president of Ghana. He's a civil servant. He works for the people. You cannot be selective about Asama also DHA. We want to know.
Hey, yes, sir. Cha 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 cha. Twin it. Hey.
And let me know when it's right to enter the wagon. Team, stay with me. Let me know when it's right to enter the wagon. Mr. P, Mr. S, please. Let me know when it is right to enter the wagon. Team, please. All right. Team, stay with me. Stay with me, please. All right. Now, Mama Yanfa and Shashaso. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. S. Now, Eba eye in summer kenya ebi ensunye, and these are things we need to pay attention to because sanyama when say mine. Okay, so what do you think, Mr. P? The Ghana Police Service has seized 500 cartons of assorted tramadol at Widana in the Upper East region. The seizure forms part of ongoing efforts by the Ghana Police Service to clamp down on the illegal trafficking and distribution of pharmaceutical drugs. You see, Enra, Ghana Police Service, Srim, Omutumi, Ekochi, Nipebia, Tramadol, Edrubonia, Embranti, and Efa, Ekunipa Bibrio Ghana, no, about 500 cartons. This means, we have to pay attention to your borders, any nipa bi amaya margin say they are going to do everything possible to destroy the future of young people in Ghana. Now, say you one place in Ghana in the north, na say you tramadol, assorted kind of this illicit drug in one warehouse. It means there are so many warehouses in Ghana amount for are hoarding this kind of hard drugs. In fact, recently we have seen the effort NACOC, the Ghana Police Service, Ejuma Omoye when it comes to cracking down on illegal drug camps near the Ghana. We have seen it for a very long time. I think you say there are agencies and institutions they can actually take action. But you have to understand, we the citizenry, we also need to play a part, a role. Now you can't tell me, this warehouse. The people who live around it, they never know, say, nipebi airton say good dubone and I say honomostone. They know. So as much as the police service, NACOC, they are doing their best to clamp down on these illicit drugs in the system. We as citizens, we also need to take part, help them bring down these menace, bring down this menace. Because the issue is, so what you say, amwakunkwaba enenum eyese edrowe ya sa amwakuba na obetuma influence obam wanum bi. And so what junior will say, a group of people be na omuma say, omunumedro say, sometimes when you watch TV and you see young people who are drug addicts, now or TikToker, remember, I can tell you on authority, say you can find yourself in that position. You see, when you are young, when you are at a point in life, you are very curious. Some people are curious. Some people basically do these things because of the pressures of life. That does not give anybody the right to get themselves involved in drugs. But you have to understand, idea very easy to get. Things that are easy to come by. It is very easy for those things to also make negative impacts in the community. And the more drugs in the system, the probability of getting more young people involved in drugs is high. And it's not. Ana de bianco focus na say yachi inkofo ebo krono wo Ghana, America krano yachi America. There are so many people arrested every single day when it comes to drug trafficking. There are so many people in America yachi one way or the other, whether by being corrupt or doing something. The difference is that in America now, 90% of the people in America omunim di omu yebia no bebia di omu beko. Obi a turn drug in America. Obi a into illicit drug trafficking in America. Obi a anything illegal in America. Onim the sentence they will get. Onim where it will end them. But these people in Ghana who are involved in these kind of bad drugs in the system, warehouse, most of them, Metmakacho say, the young people around they don't even know, say, how many years no mess of jail. They think it is just remand. Oh, they think where the betcho, you counseling. No. And I believe the government at this point, from NACOC to Ghana Police Service, we need to set example with some people. Some people, like a coaching say, the person behind this, at least we need to give that person life in imprisonment. See, a masani panel life, it will send the shock down. Okay? Chairman won't to me 25 years is very low. Chairman won't to me 25 years in jail are very, very low. Chairman won't to me was supposed to go in for life. And Obiakra or Jine or what idea or what's the Kebidawa or Jine was or into illegal mining. No, Sandy Pano would think twice or thrice. Chairman won't to me was supposed to be jailed for life. Then it will be that mark. People will understand and say, yeah, the Obiakotu for life. 25 years still does not deter some people from going into illegal mining, even though that is what the law says. But if we want to really set example, we want to really let the people know that this is something that you can use someone to set an example. Chairman went to me like that. You know what? Facts, no, court evidence now. The attorney general making the case. No, would to me was supposed to be in for life. He's supposed to die in jail. Because the crimes are Yejina so ejele went to me for being a facilitator, helping, taking money, destroying water body, destroying forest. No, Sadena would to me, and it is going to destroy us for the next 40 years. So would to me is not supposed to live to see it. Would to me is supposed to be in there. He's supposed to rot in there. He's supposed to die in jail. Send Beya in Chimba will understand and say, even being involved as an associate, even thinking about being going into illegal mining, no, it can land you 40 years or 50 years. That's what we need to do. So these kind of people are these people when we catch them, because you see, Jumana trying to clean the system up. Every day, General Mante, Nakok, and his people, they're on the street. They are catching people, they are arresting people. The Ghana Police Service, they are cracking down. But we have still not set that example that will put fear in some people that when it comes to illicit drug importation or trying to sell drugs in Ghana, I should not venture. As much as NACOC is working seriously, in fact, the proliferation of drugs on our streets has gone down. And we are seeing people still bringing it in. We need a landmark prosecution. And then they're changing the mindset. Let me tell you. The problem we are going through Danny Brown. The day another danko for the be a forest. No? Every acre be a chairman to me a 2 year. Every acre NPP for a 2 year forest in because remember, Nanado danko for the Baumiamu the case young come mine anywhere forest in can't get to see Sabala Bujina Pocas Yampino. Now, the day they started mining in our forest, that was the day Sa Adena Wuhuno, Sa Insuna Wuhunisano. Also, Tiasie. Baby a chairman won't me any NPP for any Omoya Galam say AD forest baby, and every time it rains, Sa in Sona I attach it to find its way into our streams. You cannot stop it easily. You can even do reclamation, but what happens is when it rains, because there are no trees to soak that rain, to make sure that that forest keeps the rain in. Baby a chairman won't me AD and then the colleagues on Medina MPP mu omuja ohon and then science in Sota. Remember, in Sota or forester, it finds its way. Water always finds its way out. Inti say in Sota da hon tonkwa dia na in forest no ye dim na say ye ntumi ndia forest back to its natural space. Remember, ye ntumi endia no mani nyina fifi in the next 20 years. It's going to take time. Inti it is the aftermath. Dear chairman won't mu ye na hu faso ne ye nya no. The NPP for year, the destruction they did. Now just say obi to Galawa as I see so now ofri okwa that pollution, any water pollution now ever happen. You think it will take only 2 years to stop? No. You are seeing a lot of rivers getting contaminated. Adane Brown. Let me tell you, I will not sit here and say Nipebi Galam so Ghana. There are some people who are still working, but the magnitude of Sa in Sona free quiet muna it is still going to be like that for years. Nobody can tell me in Ghana say Ejuma Naimos ABS Naimos, the introduction of Naimos krana abwaya kakra as a nation. Nasan Kenya Naimos 8 years Ekufu Tiasia anka just hanewo anka Ghana nsuo eniati. The amount of damage Naimos abehu and what they are trying to stop. Let me tell you, Senka, yenya effective policing and effective security to say Naimos and anka almost preventing illegal mining and can then niha. Every single day in Sobia Betobiano, the water comes from the forest. Now, most of the forest yedi. Chairman to me on an akunta mining. Any NPP for Samia Wuku Kojo Ponkroma, Kate Jemfua, and Charles Bisumo, Omunina, and Mrekudukam. They went into the forest, they shared it. I'm not saying it. The Frimpong Boateng report is there. It is clear. The aftermath of the destruction and the Yehuno. But Yambon Paye say the work this government is doing, the introduction of NIMOS, you bet me stop it. Back to this matter, no. I will urge the government to say, Yampe campaign bakwa oton yet tramadol Ghana, ni enchino. Ni money for life. Sa nyoma we bi usrim. From our checks, our young men and women in the northern region, they are going through a lot. They are getting the biggest hit. Northern region and Ashanti region. Northern region and Ashanti region. So we study in Ghana 16 regions now. These two regions, illicit drug, tramadol, edrubone, and say the young people. So we need to take some drastic measures. And I'll urge the government, I'll urge the president, I'll urge the judiciary, I'll urge all of us to come together and say, this kind of bastard police, whoever is found culpable, life. The colleagues, life no should be the standard. Life no should be where you person a change, you reset here. We need to start with life in prison. Because if we don't do that, 10 years, 15 years, obeba, chairman want to be 25 years, cheap, too low. Want to me, or sanko demo for life, no owu jail. Na odie mia, na otna je no ren nsa, no born nsa no, na osa wutuaso. Want to me is supposed to die in jail. He's not supposed to see light again. Because Woon to me has destroyed lives. He has destroyed a nation. He punched the heart of a nation. He took out our heart and he chewed it. And we need to let Woon to me feel that pain. So, yeah, bro, nyamaso. Let's get serious. Let's try and make sure that all right, now, team, thank you very much. I wanted to kill agenda, but let's go straight. Now, as some way nende eda nipa bibrano, especially the NPP party of piglets. Now, ninyana say, a NPP for episode force scandal at the share gold board kum, led by Afenyo Markin, the pedophile protector. Now, we are Ghanaian. Sometimes you ask yourself, say, gold board, you introduce here. Ghana buying through John Mahama buying Edibaye. Gold board, no. Dientina, NDC buying by almost the BBF and gold board ever. We need to start from the back. We will understand what is happening today. Now, Auditor General, I audit a gold board. Auditor General, I audit gold board. Who discrepancies be. The Auditor General's report did not point to anywhere that Sami Jemfi's gold board, NDC gold board of the buyer, no, omo wiesika ana omo boka eguo. The Auditor General of Ghana, ono ena eba Ghana sika samu hwehwemu. Ono ne de ahye ne nsa constitution ama ne tumi say bebia eye aban institution no wo ho kwan say obeden obehwehwe omo nkratam omo sika samanu. Na Auditor General no eye sa adwuma no Sami Jemfi gold board etam krata bia Auditor General ehia. As we sit here, the Auditor General being also or set charges gold board because obusa nkrata bia ne nsanka. Nobody from any institution that has been mandated to audit a gold board and can say na ye pese a gold board ye pese a audit on krata mu ye hwem sika sem oman pene. In fact, the Auditor General are confirm say enkrata bia omubusa ye bia every gold board omon sakaye. At the end of the audit, they didn't find any losses at gold board a year. Omujuma dienti omaboka egu Ghana so a was a Ghana for obitina be because gold board aboka egu Ghana so. Now, the question here is gold board omujuma dienti saying identity tea gold board. DNA Major Mahama banker say or say ABB for the gold board. And could tea cocoa board. Then you say na cocoa board anyhow. Abaitina si who say eye Ghana ye goodie ba ko a sebio eboyama oman etumpon ebasika sem tutuyem se na ebetuma ton enya sika na ye koko aban no at a point be hu say koko no yen nuanum no bi etwa anase omutwa cocoa no ekoton no amonane ye ga sa amonane a Ivory Coast, Togo, de inkura ebenye entina cocoa na yedua ne Ghana na ehon fa so pa na enya ne enya entaban tena se ka say obeti institution be friend go cocoa board eno na be hwe so make sure say Ghana ni bia ntumi wia cocoa enko Ivory Coast enko ton na ye ne Ghana fo e make adwem na Ivory Coast ni bia no obetumi wia cocoa so da ba Ghana na sebio se cocoa no e wo ho a na ye hu anoto enti the main reason the cocoa board buy say ebe protect your cocoa ye benya hu sika enye bi ede ahwe kuafo enye bi di aye kwan enye bi ede aye akwan enye bi ede ama scholarship. So the basic thing was to protect cocoa na eno so ye goodie da home. For a long time cocoa board aso Ghana sene when it comes to your sika sam your budget be baby na your cocoa board sika ehyem e ma no tumi gina eba ye ka bia ye twetwa na brocha na cocoa board buy no ye tumi ti cocoa nyamfa so de tua ye ka nti eba ye something na about say part of us yen tumi enchekere man no without making sure say cocoa board ni sika sam entoto ye ene de ebenya cocoa board na gina na so nti that was the idea. Now for a long time gold na ye de boy ho samra hene e wo Africa ni wiase nyina no ye be hu say ye gold dodo a ye tu no Ghana no na nipa bebre o Ghana omfa ekwanpa entu gold no. Secondly ye be hu say nipa bi abawura Ghana ye gold no omutu no kwan bone so e na omo sade gold no e dwane kwa abruchiri koton. Second, that means ni enya ho mfaso. Thirdly ye hu say de ye nimra bia ebetumi ama gold na abedi ensem ye ni ankasa ye betuma fa kwan paso ato na ye siesie na ya to na monone na sika na sa begu ensem na ye di bi adane dollar edi egu ye nchi as reserves na ye ni bi nti eno so ka ho e na aban ka se dabi ye behia bibia ye friend gold board nti gold board juma de ni nyina ne se eba abebo ye gudi a nipa bi area ye gudi a Chinese for India for Lebanese for abesha Ghana no money nipa bi te se chairman untumi bawomia NPP for AD in sawoso area ye fa ye gudi na eko nti John Mahama ka se o se otwaso mo kai se NPP what power ye be afraid gold for oil buy if you say drum pempensuo bi na Ghana say de benya fango e de Ghana for atono efo ama ye nyina ho atoto na ye nya bi ena NPP for we ya ntwam we ebeka kire say ba wo mia so de ade bi abefriend gold for oil na Ghana gold no omutu a chema wontumu tu no kwan bone so omo ne galamsey for ka omuti bom no omutu no kwan bone so a omo betumi de ama a third party an intermediary a friend no edien Alpha Stream na wo de akọ Dubai akoton owia na ono sa Alpha Stream na to petrol de abreye abranka ye ne gold no ye betuma tam de akọ world market so New York stock market and I said the UK near town officially na ya day ye de aba beto fan gold de aba no omo ka se da bi omo wo broni bi Arab ni bi ono na betam gold no de akọ ye tena krom ha Mahmoud Bawumia na NPP ntwambo e ka kire se gold for oil no ene de be ma fan gold boaye fo e wo Ghana ye jiminti ye ka se yo ena Bawumia ni group e start say omo tu ye nsase omo ma India for Lebanese for ba ya omo the excavators begu Ghana chairman untumi na abo captain's band rekuduka gabimo ena na omo sensase adekudientia gold for oil Mahmoud Bawumia NPP for antumi ankoton gold no wo amanone proper na say na gold dodo na eba gold for oil no na illegal gold enti abrofo no so ahye bi Saudi gold baba aya abruchiri America beton ama dollar ma odi akokuru akoto fango a e wo say gold no ye free be traceability. You need to be able to trace the gold baby a utu no sebio e yankwara na tu ye e mercury bi na odi asase no e galamsey achema untumi entina ba omia untumi nya saa because na e galamsey sikanti omo cut out America UK market near better no and omo fa Alpha Stream so on fa koti kwan so nkoton illegal gold na chairman untumi NPP for tu no na on santo petro famra. They were trying to evade. They were trying to move around or go around the legitimate way because people say Ghana and UK are fine, and America are fine. I didn't know go there per se. You tofango, young fanko ton America, ne and tofango famba. And so by we casa dabi Alpha Stream no and fanko Dubai because abrochino America for the UK for me say gold no tu no wine. Embraben na de ball buy him out to me 2 gold no. Ubetuma share baby gold free. No when you ready some answer that question because that share my want to me or your galamsey campaign. Sa time na Keti Jemfu a 2. Na omone Chinese for come to my bweni and almost saying sase wo Ghana. Frimpong Boatia na oyɛ sector minister or share send you 2 a good day asase or tro krata koma Akufo-Addo say nana yɛne nkɔfo na say at a point party here sika yɛte omo ka che Frimpong Boatia say wabodam Akufo-Addo de krata ahyehye ne to ekotena menhia ka che otumfo mo say omo yɛ nkwara na bibie ni hɔ yɛtena kurom ha me kyerɛw baby a gold board de ma John Mahama nyansa ɛne NDC forecasters amegye mfi nkoda no me kyerɛw wechi sɛ na bɛyɛ kwasie bi betena TikTok kwasie bi betena Facebook say gold board abaka wo so wenim yɛ hare me kyerɛkyerɛ mu midwudwam me yɛ ne simple na Ghana fo na nsɛm na bana amanfo bi twantro mo bɛte nyoma na se enti yɛdidim te sɛ menhyia dondon yɛdidim ɛde sɛ menhyia dondon ɛna NDC ba power ɛna John Mahama say they see wo gold mafia on pese be sibium okay gold mafia Alistair dear Mr. S Alistair okay gold mafia nana do danko Akufo-Addo ka so control letter ma Al Jazeera na onu gold smuggling na de ne dia bem no on tia se ko si sen Akufo-Addo ye kromfo tetwi amoaboaten o ye wi Nana Danko Akufo-Addo in the history of the Republic of Ghana, ye documentary abroche network bi asombo president din say wa fe ne to ton illegal gold ye boy Akufo-Addo din wom. Omo ka kire say omo ko siw Al Jazeera, omo ma Al Jazeera warning ebesi nde yante. Saa nyomadim na John Mahama ka say ompede saa krono no bekoso bi mo Ghana. Yembo ye gudie no ho ban. Ye make sure say ye de mra atoto kwan mu ama egudie na ejina ne naso ye betumi tu no kwan paso ye betumi ehun bebia ye tu no ye betumi aton ye ne ankasa ya ton ye betumi make sure say omo ba ye krom ha omo wi egudie ko India China no ye betwa so na ye betumi aboy ensase ho ban no or the bibia friend gold board editor John Mahama introduce idea friend gold board na gold board nya say ye sika ye gudie na nipa bi area edi kwan bɔ ne so etu a yenya ho mfaso a ye Ghana for ye brɛ ho no e wo sɛ ye bɔ ho ban na edi mfaso brɛ ye every say tokuro na abɛda ho no tokuro a wo sɛ yesi. That is the introduction of gold board. Into John Mahama ka sɛ abi you see wiase no you need to take care of yourself into offer abrante e fɛn sami je fi sɛ kwada no na gold board dwumadi akodi no in the interests of the Republic of Ghana. The people's gold. Go there and make sure say Jumedi bi obedibia no ebenya Ghana benya ho mfaso. That basically that is it. Now, gold board buy obebusa say gold board Jumedi be no mudi. 2025 ena eye parliament. Ejitu mu say gold board betumi di dwuma. Remember, ye nyina ye te Ghana ha. Obi o ha ye to be fan say beza. Yet we find say treasurer or company bi mu obo yet we find say accountant oh ya fa accountant we adwuma ya man adwuma say onko adwuma wo ebia ministry bi ana institution ana school bi now ya ma accountant ni letter January na letter di mu no e kire say obe start adwuma March but he needs to report and do what familiarize himself with how the work goes, meaning even though yama accountant in a letter no wako school hona or hono officially the accountant in the Juma starting March. And all you people watching me, civil servants for now gold board NDC winning power 2025. The gold board no officially started after Parliament of Ghana basically came out and said say NPP in Chamwa and NDC form of parliament everything say they are the people's representatives. NPP need all parliament, NDC need all parliament. No, they don't represent animals, they represent human beings. They all came together and said yaji gold board atum. So for now no ya more to me so we to gold. I'm to protect gold. I'm to me I then I make sure so tracy omo ton gold now no I'm stop you I'm protect Ghana. I'm the sikabe fear by selling right gold. I'm say into the 2 million my gold board in 2025. Somewhere in when September. Now gold board buy any no. Na NPP are buying first no yakoto gold na Bank of Ghana wone media. Bank of Ghana is a banker Constitution of the Republic of Ghana etiye enyo bia dia Ghana dia time na NPP wa power no na Bank of Ghana epeso mo to gold every small scale miners were legitimately na omo di sika no e de ma e de PMMC into PMMC for the intermediaries omo na etoto gold from 2017 2018 19 20 time ba omi gold for oil buy from 2021 22 23 Bank of Ghana tam Ghana sika no mo di ama eye PMMC se mo e na mo nkoto gold na mo famra na yenkoto nya ho mfaso. Now what happened in they say that period na omo toto gold Emma Bank of Ghana no till say Parliament bejitu mu say Sami Jemfini the gold board ebe to me take over no sa period no to time as Sami Jemfini mu take over no about $400 million and over. Ain't Sami Jemfini's gold board was there, but Sami Jemfi gold board no take over officially to be dealing with Bank of Ghana as a middle agency and I say intermediary after a year the Parliament of Ghana can say I fed the gold board months that year Juma. Ain't from 20 25 until Parliament Eshemra say gold board to me to gold ma Bank of Ghana no na a PMMC any the Bank of Ghana any dijuma. So Sami Jemfi the gold board had been established but they didn't have control on the buying of gold for the Bank of Ghana because PMMC were still doing that job until Parliament gave gold board right to buy. Into a gold board Parliament is here and say ya jimwatum Emrano Chese Bomuchino. That is when Sami Jemfi started buying gold for the Bank of Ghana. And I'm saying Sami Jemfi because on the leading gold board. Now, the question here is, and the NPP for Abba say, hey, Asame si. Now Asame ne si. A year NPP for Sami Jemfi boka. Remember, time na NPP were power from 2021 to 2025 onto gold board Parliament ejitum so muyejuma omoboka over $400 million. That time no NPP yebusa omo say adena gold board adena PMMC aboka omo say a Bank of Ghana na aboka. That is what Baumia afenyoma akemo ne sankwasiafo ekachire. That time na PMMC boka over $400 million in the name say omo to gold ma Bank of Ghana no. Baomiani and this NPP for catcher say, sa a kana over $400 million no. A Bank of Ghana na abo na enya PMMC. Intimami yembe blame PMMC, yem blame Bank of Ghana. Now, ye the demand yabedru hande. Ghana Auditor General, aye audit of gold board, sikasem, also who problem biya. Yes, IMF phobia throw a report. Na sa report ni muno. Yesterday, IMF say a gold board aboka 1.7 billion. Now the question here is, Ghana Auditor General report, what does it say? And where in that IMF report, and explicitly, it can't directly say gold board aboka 1.7 billion. Where in that report of IMF, and it explicitly say gold board aboka. Remember, when the Bank of Ghana does not give money to gold board cannot buy gold. It is recently, and a gold board, they want to do that on their own. But without money coming from Bank of Ghana, the gold board, since its established inception, could not go into the market to buy gold because the constitution frowns on them buying gold themselves until say the Bank of Ghana aqua entiasie say they can fund it themselves. So Tama Sami Jemfi Eddie gold board a leader no gold board were taking money from Bank of Ghana to buy gold for them. Now let's keep it simple. NPP for say Sami Jemfi ameka bi nchiremo. Menoti hai sika saying na gold board e de abre Ghana. Emfa so ban ye nya wo so. E de na ayama Ghana. since the gold board the buy no. Your gold that you tune or Ghana no. Ghana as a nation from time Kwame Nkrumah breast be seen there. In for so ben pa na yenya. Yenya himself for now as we speak. Gold board in a year, it will make a profit of $15 billion. $15 billion. Now, because of Jumadia Gold Board AD and the economy, the ecoso, inflation about from how the dollar to me overcoming the city. It is because of the introduction of a Juma Gold Board, Ayama Bank of Ghana. The intermediary job at Gold Board, etime raise sika, Ayama Bank of Ghana. And no now Buama Finance Minister, etime nye sika, and making sure say your economy no ejina na so. It is all a businessman. Nande, when we say dollar nijina 10, 11, 10, 11. Now we Juma cost now we nyamfaswa. Because of the inception of Gold Board, the way they were able to go into the market, Abra Bank of Ghana more musika to buy gold to make money for Ghana. Now, so we go back and you look at the influencer Gold Board, the positive influencer Gold Board, Enyanwo Ghana economy nuswa. Our economy is growing, jobs and opportunity. Now, when you look at it from 2022, ever since 2023, you saw a GDP growth. As we speak today, GDP in 2026 is 6.4. In 2022, time about Umiaoho, gold for oil, the GDP growth was 3.8. 2023, it went to 3.1. 2024, it was at 5.7. In just less than 2 years, because of the introduction of Gold Board and making sure that Ghana will sikada hono, the GDP right now is at 6.4. It shows you say the introduction of Gold Board and the Gold Board Bank of Ghana today our economy is stable. We will go to where the NPP is coming from and I'll take care of that. But my conversation way I a simple amount. The NPP before your time Sami Jenfi. After your marking, the all yenano your time Sami Jenfi. NPP for him say Gold Board as this thing there's no way NPP will come to power again. That is their problem. NPP as a political party, from Baumia to the last foolish man in the NPP, they know say the game changer is Gold Board. And John Mahama Niminyan saw this Sami Jenfi. It is personal, a hatred towards Sami Jenfi. And then they are against Ghana's economy doing well because Gold Board has shown significant impact on our economy. Whether you like it or not, whether you like Sami Jenfi or not, whether you were against the NDC or not, the impact of Gold Board on our economy is huge. It is big. Now, when you look at some of the positives through the works of Gold Board, buying gold the right way, protecting our reserve, making sure Obi or Ghana be able to gold legitimately, gold be free Ghana and come and do binsem. That positive side, and then Ghana is sick as a major. In NPP for him, until they destroy Gold Board, they know say they can never come to power, and that is what they are doing. Because Ubusom say at this point. Munjina swane dia say Gold Board aboka 1.7 billion. Munchechirima almost an inchechirimu, but then say Sami Jenfi muadie. Gold Board disika, I am a factual report to be. Yeni ati yankwa and you knew your situation before and now. And we will choose that situation today. Because in your payday, we are seeing significant increase in how our economy is doing. Now, prices rising slower. Now, and because of the introduction of Gold Board. Any Jumadi and Sikamu Pompey war system over 15 billion in tea. We are looking at inflation from 23 at a point in our history, and the NPP gold for oil, not inflation, and 54. Today, because of the introduction of Gold Board and the way we are able to pump money to help the economy keep dollars, our inflation are dropping from 54. NPP every power. Now, omuya gymnastics azadi 23, but today we are talking about 5.3. You can say inflation, normal boarding, and the NDC are about 5.3. Gold Board has been in power or existence in less than 2 years, and this is the impact. Sami Jenfi Gold Board na here. Me mana a basic amount. Bro, from TV, you can almost Jimmy. Omni Mkeka. When made you come, the echo because the NPP knows as far as John Mahama's Gold Board exists, they can never come to power because it is the bedrock, it is the backbone, it is what is driving this country. gold, cocoa, and daso for years. No, people have been able to do what? Destroy cocoa, and we are reforming cocoa sector. No, a new policy is coming. But in the meantime, John Mahama to me the gold board bar. I regularize the gold na and this fee into the MP for Bakan and say. Yanko chat run to Sami Jemfiso. Yanko cast a gold board on Waboka. Inti Ebasana, no montam Ghana, my send a to me, I bedding, I be dio matro. It is not working. Now, we can also move forward and see the impact of gold board. We are my address sa a canasem. The country owes less. Now, me busa o Ghana ni awhwemeno. Ghana pa ehini enye sika free. John Mahama about power, NPP about NDC about power. Busa won say na John Mahama aban wo munye sika free na omo chichire man no. And yeah kwan obebi a Kumasi Accra Express Road, ye see hospitals, yeah electrification. Busa won say omo sika way because we all know say right now the cocoa sector they are now doing reforms to get it back on its feet. Inti enye sika way. It is gold board. And then the NPP cannot stand because Mahamudu Bawumia cannot make any statement. Because the question will be simple. The gold board that was introduced by the NDC is savvy or minor. He has nothing to say because he was given the opportunity. He connived with the criminals. They stole our money through gold for oil. But this is a situation a government comes, a president comes, puts together gold board, and our economy is now sustainable. The question here is, who are Ghana now? Busa, I want to say just free. In Ghana, Adebi. GRA. GRA. From GRA. How many people pay taxes in Ghana? 6 in 10 businesses fail to properly account for VAT. So we 10 companies in Ghana, 6 businesses. Omuntumimpo enkase VAT we ya JVAT sikani nie ya bede ya diskani ma amino. Into busango se sikani free. Most of us, our businesses don't pay taxes. Into the sudden change, our economy will grow, our jumeba, our sikana jana national. But I will say free. It is the introduction of the gold board. The amount of money pumping into the system through buying gold for Bank of Ghana. Into man, you what you say? Sikabi magically free baby bow. It is the inception of gold board. The way diligently they are doing the job, buying the gold, protecting the gold, guiding us, making sure they protect our environment, stop illegal air smuggling, and then they are into the NPP. They have taken notice. Omunim say, so we can try to Sami Jemfiso. Be creating pressure. Be Sami Jemfia Boka. No. The gold board is saving you and I. We are businessman. Nende, who took quite 3 weeks now, but it is because of the introduction of gold board helping the Bank of Ghana to do what? To get money for us to get dollar to protect our economy. Realistically, 10 out of 10 business, 6 out of 10 businesses in Ghana, if you have a country where 6 in 10 businesses, how can you build a road? How can you build a school? How can you do all that you are doing? Keep the lights on. It is because the gold board is making a difference. Oma tenase. The omo yana deliberate. Omo just said that 1992. Can embe no kre chatro jandam. It's not working. Now, may I go back to the gold board matter. Now, if yanko eyiniso, the issue itself. Yes, Sami Jemfi. Gold board naboka. Now let me tell you something. When it comes to taking decisions to save a nation's economy, say who ufie, na say opa say ufie no, say be to me keeping up. There's something we call it should come with costs. Now when I say it should come with costs, there's a difference between costs and loss. Costs and losses. So what do sika she bibim with the mentality says sa sika na udi shemu no at the end of the day or say a yielding results bia that moment sika na udi shemu no it is your cost. Now when you want to revamp how gold is mined, you want to get a lot of revenue from gold that you tune or Ghana. It's not just saying some gold board. No. So be one okay be a gold border. You need something we call a drastic action. You yourself, you need to feel the pain. Now, if you say gold board aboka, let's say it's also gold board aboka. Now, in the report, it shows clearly gold board technically were working for Bank of Ghana. If the Bank of Ghana had a problem with gold board, they would have stopped gold board from doing what? Buying gold for them. But the Bank of Ghana did not do that. The Bank of Ghana was still doing business with Gold Board, because Gold Board can only be effective when they get money from the Bank of Ghana. Now, that report now, IMF Troy now, the NPP are rallying behind it. Some report, the IMF was basically saying, you cannot come out with Gold Board and decide to make drastic decisions to bring in revenue without having costs involved. When you put together Gold Board, so what's the Gold Board? How is it going to be effective? Say Gold Board Jessica, Bank of Ghana, that's what I say, the drama Bank of Ghana. Anybody can do it. Send a PMMC and about Baumia at the Intina over $15 billion like Gold Board. It is because the cost involved to make sure you seal the loopholes for Bank of Ghana to understand and have confidence in you. It comes with a cost. It's a cost. Now, I'm going to show the difference. What is making the NPP struggle to understand the report of the IMF? Now, when you take your time and ask yourself these two questions, the simplest way to understand it, costs. Like I said, cost. What you give up to achieve something. I will explain something to you. And like I said, loss, when what you get back is worthless than what you put in. Inti like I said, obi meaning say, or the sika ko share you maybe, and or the 10 million ko share no, or no, sika about back near 1 million, waboka. Now like I said, costa. Sika odisha bibim ana dia odisha bibimwa. At the end of the day, you achieve something bigger. Meaning, no matter how you look at it, you need to invest if you really want to make revenue. And it's a Bank of Ghana, any Gold Board, I catch up said the Gold Board, technically, they have made more money for Ghana. But NPP for said, no. Gold Board has made a loss because they are trying to put together costs and loss. Now, some people say yes, simple, but say at a point in our life, not a team like Manchester City, no more we need trophies. A team like PSG, no more we need trophies. Why do you think today Manchester City is one of the biggest clubs in the world? Because Arab Fonbeto team, they told themselves, we want to be also seen as one of the greatest teams in the world. So what did they do? They had to put money. So they had a plan. But before that plan can work, we need an expensive coach, Guardiola. We need expensive stadium. We need to put money in and do what? Rebrand the team. We have to make sure every player we buy is an expensive player. What Man City management did was that they knew to be part of one of the greatest teams in the world, to win Champions League, to win World Club Championship, to be recognized, it comes with a cost. It comes at a cost. Without you putting in, because their target was that they wanted to win the Champions League. Their target was that they wanted to be counted as one of the greatest teams around. Their plan was that they wanted to have a good coach. Now, it comes with a cost. Even though at the end of the day, say, cost, say, idea, say, yield the results be, then that cost can never be a loss. Now, Manchester City, etamusika, and on the share, a team. The idea was that today's cost should yield something better. Now, we are talking about Manchester City from nowhere has become one of the greatest teams in the world. Now, how many Champions League the Manchester City have? So many of them. Do you know how much money they got from it? How many Club World Championships the Manchester City have? So many of them. Do you know how much money they made from it? Today, you cannot poach a Manchester City player because you need billions. Now, the cost they put in building the team, has it become a loss or it has become what we call something positive? At that moment when they were putting the money in, it was a cost. Now, Manchester City have made so much money that some of the 5 billion in Shema today, the end game is that they have made 20 billion. Are you going to say, when they were spending, when the cost was going on, you are going to say they made losses? They didn't make any loss. So when you want to change something, you need to understand, a cost needs to happen. And that cost is not a loss. And then as Sami Jemfini Bank of Ghana explaining, IMF for Ghana for Ghana to bring in Gold Board, for Gold Board to make a difference, we need a cost. It comes with a cost. It comes with technology. It comes with, so the gold buying, Bank of Ghana giving Gold Board money to go into the system. It's not just going to work in the system and buying gold. You need to make sure, nobody can steal gold from Ghana. You need to make sure that the smuggling stops. You need to make sure that every gold that you are buying is legitimately mined. You need to make sure the system people are doing the right thing. It comes at a cost. Why didn't PMMC do it? Because they didn't have the mind. It is so because you say God bought Aboka 1.7 billion. Sami Jeffibeka said no, that was a cost. It's administrative cost, meaning you would need that to get to the $15 billion. There's nowhere that anybody can sit, any economist can sit and say God board has made losses. God board made 15 billion. Let's say God board Sasika must say 1.7 billion, any 15 billion. How did we arrive at 15 billion? It is because of the cost we put in there. So when you are recording the books, Ghana God board aboka 1.7 billion. The fact of the case is it was a cost. And from the beginning, God board catch said this is an administrative cost. Because before you can get the 15 billion, you cannot just say it. You just have to make sure you put things in place. Into who in your right senses, one in him answer because say God board aboka. Today, the Black Stars of Ghana, we want to win the African Cup of Nations. How are we going to do it? The GFA needs to commit to a coach that is expensive, experienced. When that coach comes, he might want a backroom staff. We need to pay. That coach might come and say, you know something, the turf that we are using, we don't have any stadium in Ghana, our pitch in here, papa, we need to put him. That thing we do is a cost. It's a cost because we want to arrive at a point. Now, when we are not able to arrive at a point, then you can tell me it's a loss. But the cost should be able to propel you to win the African Cup of Nations. Into coach the Nations Cup. Now, after all this cost we put into it, pay him so much money, giving him backroom staff money, build it. Now, say, winning Nations Cup. Now, Sasika spending making sure he wins the Nations Cup is 6 million. Now, the Nations Cup near win $10 million. Near to also call a World Cup near win $30 million. Will you call that cost as a loss? No. Into the NPP are struggling between loss and cost. And then Momoka say IMF say by Gold Board Aboka, the Gold Board has not messed up any money. Because you can say introduce the Gold Board, that just said now PMMC or say you man Gold Board here. Why is Gold Board doing something different? Because the things they are doing, it is geared towards something positive. In the end, Sami Jenfika Betmakacho say I've brought in over $15 billion. Not everybody can bring it in. Why? Because at a cost, we've been able to achieve this. At a cost, you will achieve what you want to achieve. Unless it's over catch them say, Sami Jenfi $300,000 spent by and the cost 1.7. That I can record as a loss. But as we speak, the cost at the end of the day has achieved 15 billion. So why do you say it's a cost? It's a loss. It's not a loss. But on say NPP for Jimmy. The NPP are stupid. They be telling us Jimmy, social media for, radio for. They are stupid to the point they don't understand the basics. But these are things that you want to do politics. In terms of the Sami Jenfi Baya, or bet I feel it's not about the law, so it's about Sami Jenfi Muadie. I don't know, Casa Chap, you can question paying, sir. Now, if you can Nimyansa, so on your quasia, or a lawmaker or Nimyansa, the kind of words he used in his press conference, go you see. The NPP is stupid. Jimmy. So there's no loss here. It was a cost that needed to be able to get to the point where we wanted to get to. And the Gold Board, 15 billion and over because of that cost we put in. And from day one, administrative cost can never be a loss. When the administrative cost is not less than what? The outcome, it is never a loss. Now, the administrative cost is less than the end game, what they got as a result. The administrative cost, if even it is 1.7 billion, then through that administrative cost, we have 15 billion. So where is the loss? It's a simple question. And Debiano, we went on a break. I was listening to people, and you can see there are so many people on TV, radio, Jimmy, they don't know what they are talking about. Even the statement from the IMF report, it was clearly telling Ghana for say, you know what? To achieve this, it needs to come at a cost. And that is where we are. And it's also 1.7 billion against 15 billion as the end product. Why do you call 1.7 billion a loss? Because let's say $15 billion, you enter 1.7 billion from it's still profit. So say Gold Board catcher will say, I'm gonna make it profit. Papa, and say Gold Board has made a loss. That jandam is not working. The idea of the NPP, after your market say, I'm better to be a good from him. It doesn't work like that. Go back and take your time. Analyze the situation. Into the Sami Jemfi Kano. That is it. He has made profit. Let's give it to you people. Sami Jemfi and Bank of Ghana. Almost at the end of the day, the market they were in the market they went into to buy the gold. They made a loss of 1.7 billion. Now they made a profit of 15 billion. Now take 1.7 billion from 15 billion. You can't tell me a loss is in here. So they are struggling to differentiate between loss and cost. What they did, in fact, if I could get the team, I wish I could. Team, I wish I could bring a document, but every good thing comes with a cost. And as far as at the end of the day, the end result is greater than the cost, there's no loss. Anything IMF could not explicitly say, Gold Board and now Bank of Ghana making loss. No, because they wanted to get to a point. And then the explanation of that one, example, you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana cedis and spend 10,000 maintaining it. The 10,000 is the cost. See explanation. When you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana, now with the 10,000 and maintaining car, it is a cost. Now, if you later sell the car for 70,000, you have a 30,000 loss on the purchase. Now you understand. So what they did, what the Bank of Ghana, Emma Sami Jefim at a cost, if they can get enough gold, it comes at a cost. If they can get enough revenue from the money, Bank of Ghana, it comes at a cost. That cost, you cannot say it's a loss. Anytime we're bringing it down all the way to a Black Stars level, anytime we're bringing it down all the way to Manchester City level, into now Manchester City by Arab money, the Arab money that came, basically they put somewhere a bit to me, I yielded that result. Intende, one of the biggest clubs in the world, over Manchester City. I didn't know Uncle Bolton. But the issue is because people cannot, NPP, you cannot mix costs with loss. You can't do that. You can never do that. And that is what they are forcing into the system. Where in the document and a Bank of Ghana Maniska or no way. Bank of Ghana Maniska, and they made sure that somebody with enough gold about it should come at a cost. How do you do that? If you're going to trace the gold, if you're going to employ, if you're going to make sure that you are sane and it's done legitimately, you're going to make sure people are not smuggling, it comes at a cost. So that administrative cost is not a loss. That is what actually yielded that end gamer, 15 billion and over. No? So get that right. And the kind of moment here, a Juma and this in this is solid. Yeah, as far as the gold board is in existence, the NPP can never come to power. Oma try BB and say no more AXA and Omo Jampo ba a petition. They don't know where to tackle because Omo ba omiano wa bon na yiri di sledge. Dr. Sledge now to go now they can 97 million. Omo ba omiya no or di sledge, but omiya does not have brains to think. We need to get these things right. They know Baumia has no room in our politics. So Baumia in 2028, Oba as what? Is he coming as an economist? And when he was given the nod, what did he do as an economist? Is Baumia coming to tell us, say, our better plans to change gold board, Anna? Baumia Bekache say, only economics to change, and yet the finance minister, Anna. Baumia Bekache say, Obefejuma Wayne. These are people who have no aim. They are aimless. They are junkies. They are jokers. They don't know what to do again. And so they think it's there. Almost started Jandam, almost starting in Mrebi. Oh, Mahama Koto hotel, oh, where you see That's how time it's not going to work again. Jandam can never exist in our politics again. We are going to ask the questions. Oh, say, Sami Jemfi press conference review, you know, what's your argument? You know, they have moved from MP and Godboard Aboka to Sami Jemfi Mwadi and Kwasiafo. After you make a Kwasiam Penya or did you jantra for we? Or Kasa said, I agree a binigunum. Or Kasa Motumentunfo. Kwasiam Penya is an Kasa by heart. Now, Korada Yinanoa. Or the young say, I must say, we want you people to prove exactly where Bank of Ghana making that 1.7 billion loss. There's no way they could not show one document. And you see, Mama Ghana for here, Assembly Bar, when you would say, NPP or Jimmy, they are naturally foolish. They were born stupid. Their leadership is stupid. They don't have a plan. After your marking your money, Nipa 187 was in parliament. Or Momin Yinaku Fee, Akabe 88. Or Nimunyansa. as far as he's there, I'm happy. Because South African market who are minority leader, the NDC will flourish. Because wait, Jimmy, it is about emotions, sentiments. Today he's working here. Arabak Tokonu will become a CJ. He doesn't know. It's all about his relationship, what he did with people behind the scenes. It is not about the collective good of the party. Now, NPP for Jimmy, they cannot differentiate between a leader and a sentimental fool. They don't get it. They don't understand it. The guy is emotionally attached to his stupid ego. He does not understand to say the politics we are doing today is different. He does not understand to say he's leading a group of monkeys who are supposed to reason like him. On Tiasie, into Onya Bebitina, talking about the DCJ, Onya Bebitina, Yava Power, Onya Bebitina, where Korea way. As a member of parliament, somebody who is part of the legislature, you could not provide one document to back your statement. Are you stupid? And we are going to support the gold board. We are going to support Sami Jemfi. We are going to make sure, sir, Germany announced a Sikeba and the $1 the age 11, 10. No, that is what we will do. Upia berewa baby okowudi emfame ho. Mekache jo Mahama ni NDC for say moba dollar na was 17 about me record 17 months so baby edunu for 2 years, almost 2 years we be gina ho nampe it was 10 11 enu ntina me koto aba enu ntina me ye dede say NPP for nkwasi afo free power me de baby on besuma berewa na koto no baby okowu na emfame ho. Right now businesses obiasika is intact. Amount for capital is still there. We today this is what we saw. This is what we have in the system today. Today, Messiah, I not pick that one. DDEP, this government or settle a car. This finance minister. We need to get serious. How many story be mamunti omo? Gold board, the internet gold board, ebe protect your gold, ebe making sure say, eyo mom ya galam say, ebe streamline it, obian to me to galam say gold enyane, yebe nya dollar, yebe to ma two gold, yanka sebe oni, yebe ton, and no cost no. Inti they are trying to pay day. They are trying any pay day. It's about me so about power by day. We are asking a simple question. Mahamudu Bawumia NPP, omo about power by day, omo be gold board. Na ye Jessica wa hen they support the economy no. Omo power omo ba yeden ba omi ade na obeye mo bodam ye ni abre de tiano munnim anka.
There's been a call for a parliamentary probe, and I've already stated on public record that I'm waiting with bated breath for Afenyo Markin's invitation. And I don't know why he's delaying and holding press conferences when, as minority leader, he can get the Public Accounts Committee to summon me tomorrow or today, and I will appear. I saw him dabbling in some confusion about standing orders of parliament and the fear that the majority may oppose a call for a probe into this matter. Well, I have, in all humility, reached out to the new majority leader in Parliament, Honorable James Agaga, and I've pleaded with him that even if Afenyo delays in extending this invitation, he should extend the invitation to me. And I'm ready to come tomorrow. You don't need any special motion. You don't need any special order by the speaker. Just get Public Accounts Committee to invite us and come and sit down there and come and demonstrate to the whole nation where the Gold Board made losses or how the Gold Board is to blame for losses made by another institution. We are waiting for that. There's been a call for a parliamentary probe
into improved economic conditions for the Ghanaian people. Afenyo Markin's continuing antics, and I want you to listen to me very carefully here. Afenyo Markin's continuing antics must therefore be seen for what they are: a desperate smear campaign by persons who have specialized in sophistry and political blackmail in pursuit of selfish ends. These are devious extortionists who will come at you with lies to tarnish your reputation in the hope that you will fold and settle for what they call, quote, compulsory arbitration and oil their palms. Well, this time around, they found their own target. The Ghanaian people deserve serious public discourse founded on facts, evidence, truth, and not endless recycling of falsehoods in the hope that repetition will lend them credibility and turn fiction to facts. Gold Board will remain focused on its mandate. We will continue to account transparently for our stewardship, and we will not be distracted from the important work of creating value for the Ghanaian people from the exploitation of the good resources of our
management. Ladies and gentlemen, is simply intended to address a number of baseless allegations and deliberate falsehoods concerning the operations and financial health of the Ghana Gold Board that have been propagated by certain individuals in recent times. Of particular concern is a persistent campaign of lies being waged by one Alexander Afenyo-Markin and his ilk against the Gold Board over the past couple of months. This sustained, relentless campaign reached a reckless crescendo yesterday at a press conference addressed by him within the precincts of Parliament. Afenyo-Markin's modus operandi, which can no longer be allowed to go unanswered, is to repeat the same tired falsehoods as often as possible and on many platforms as he can, in the hope that repetition will somehow transform fiction into facts and mislead unsuspecting members of the public. The Gold Board therefore deems it necessary that the record be set straight once and for all, to prevent him and others like him from continuing to distort the remarkable performance and transformational impact of the Ghana Gold Board.
Now we all know what Afenyo-Markin stands for. He's a liar. Every liar is a thief. This is a man who slaps police officers. This is a man who deliberately disrespects the president by calling a woman who has been appointed by the president to take a petition from. This is a fool. This is a man who sent thugs to go after another man that he took his wife. His brother raped, trying to molest somebody's son. This is a man who called somebody in court, somebody fighting for the lives of his kids, to threaten them. This is a fool who sends his colleague from his law firm to adapt people's kids from their school. He's a filthy, dirty fool. Onimunyansa. This is somebody who stood in public trying to say that judges, our Supreme Court judges, without any evidence, said on national television that our Supreme Court judges ganged up, came together. This guy, who is a filthy lawyer, is not somebody to be trusted. Oh, yeah, Jimmy Four. He is doing everything possible to keep this position that he has failed in. He came to meet 130-something people in Parliament. Because of his foolishness and stupidity, they have all left Parliament. This is a guy who can never be a leader of a group. Consistently lies about everything, malign people and try to destroy their lives in the name of politics. We are not supposed to entertain Afenyo-Markin and his foolishness. He proves nothing. He has no evidence. All that he does is spits around, stupidly protecting Tokon, who was found guilty of a crime. And what makes this guy an honorable fool for us to be entertaining in Parliament? We sit in Ghana. This young man, Sami Jefi, responds to this fool, and the NPP are saying, oh, you talk back at Afenyo-Markin, the idiot. But when he was speaking, why didn't you people question him? The guy has been a consistent fool who does not have any respect with him. Me a minority leader, a minority of 88 piglets. None of these people are able to sit this guy down to say, say party, no. Before you go out to speak, don't speak like the Salakau. Have some evidence. You see, Patricia PJ, Mamia Brewa, Poso, Neto Jene, na Akora Kitikiti, Alberto Nachempena, Awunichi, Edinechima, O Jimmy. No evidence. In Penifua Danem Kwara, more than Jimmy for because of politics. We should swallow every nonsense. The NPP knows what's better for them. Until they change this dwarf, they can never win power. And the next 42 years is going to multiply to 60 years. And this is what we are talking about. We are talking about people who are not leaders. Where in this world now the team every first division, every premiership, akwa third division, na nkwasi afọ mo da ho deep coach nechi. Akwa we di monim ko elections na mo tumi, more power. Mo ye wiase awia bibia. This guy could not win power for you. Mo da ho di Jimmy wechi. Every single day, screaming, backing, slapping policemen, going against the law, stupidly showing his ignorance at every corner that he finds himself. And you people think you are doing something different. You are doing nothing. The guy is a piece of crap. It's garbage. He does not understand his environment and how he needs to act. Into more mana, more NPP, he is just using you for money. What he came to do against Sami Jemfi was to intimidate him and extort. That is what he does. It was to extort from him. It was to make him feel, say, you are doing something wrong, but there's nothing wrong. And that is his modus. He has been doing this for years. Let me attack him. Let him threaten him. Me say we NPP, NDC appointee. Now we hear Juma no fool should scare you. You bet you what to mob dam. Power sasa, power best sasa. And that is his strategy. Otna aya ECG as a board chair. Obo kabu buru kwasi paying so dem. Ghana ni enka no krentra. After Marking, when he slapped a police officer, he was supposed to be jailed. Now Attorney General na maintain say this Attorney General has a problem. After Marking should be facing trial. And we sit in Ghana, Jimmy Bianyama to me, 87 piglets walking on the streets of Ghana, misbehaving and fooling themselves. Yachi to me atum. His actions has caused a lot of deaths. Now kwasi afo amoto kankan to say yantiasie, mo bodam, mo petumi, mo de yeden. What do you need the power for? A dear in honorable woman. What makes you honorable people? Now, kwasi to Facebook, no kuta evidence, no kasa. Now, who will see a leader of 87 piglets? You have no evidence. How different are you from that person? And these are people who are not supposed to be addressed as honorable. Afenyo Makin is a bully. He's an extortionist. On Kano Kre, that is what he has been doing in his political life. Yatina Ghana ma Jimmy Sen we are then you are going to threaten somebody, he will go to jail. Sano ye, the political life in nobody is going to fall for this. Obia wedi boni also go jail no, he needs to go to jail. Power sesa o chirichia, munchi obi antum kwasi asembe no. Now fighting the corruption, yeah the same. Ye di mo atema mo say, ye muade, uni mi age, aka krebni me di 50 years. Kwasia, uni mi age, uhinim, aka krebni me di 50 years. Otu ase Kevin Taylor small boy, no brama bo bi, mo bodam. A politician needs to respect himself. And so ambunu wa ye be dinatem, and no fool can speak. Then obey. Me we awadi o me ko wi a obi bia me mbo kro no. I am telling you, say a politician will do in chin we Jimmy, and that guy is a typical example of a fool. Now a whole political party, you had this number in parliament. Akwa we didi consensus be ye kum ye be any leader ebe sin there we yi nipa almost over half of your party omo nyina lose elections. Now mwe Jimmy ntimo de didi akwa we hey leader hey wey or hey, Jimmy mo petu me. Football team 3rd division for Krampo H and Yomu coach. Akwa odi manimu we Jimmy. Ya catch them. You consistently follow this fool. On fa bibia meka mo ho. It's just to scream. All that he does is he pulls his dick out and follow Tokonu and say Tokonu come to power. Tokonu come to power. Pissing himself off. Every day watching the quarter and Tokonu come to power. You think Tokonu Ghana belongs to her? Tokonu, you didn't think Ghana belongs to her? Yeah, oh yeah, and home for solo and nobody can impose Tokonu on anyone in Ghana. Yes. Wo araba Tokonu na koye papa yi man no. Also na pado bi ozeb na watch kwate nenam. Tokonu beba Tokonu beba CJ. Tokonu, you think you are stupid in this country? What Tokonu deserves is what she's gotten. We are not going to entertain foolishness. Unya tumi ajeli obia, but today the law needs to apply. Whoever is found guilty needs to go inside. Mo bottom. After this short break, we will continue the show. We are going to kill another Jandam.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was yet the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals, Hey, NDC mpamuchoma mamutimu nyamudu muna mo apa muntia. And you're my koso. And if you are not careful and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. Yeah. In fact, the fight against corruption, they are more weakened. The nolly prosecutor and the fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
And no it weakens your base.
A bull fruit so. Time of the radio CEO, because you're from your new way. Kronon kwa these two people. Bribe we call Ghana mujinina. Actually, I'm appointee B position. No mo se sika no honom tata no se nsonkru nsuo. Asam o kanyanse be ne wom. Ai, my president man hwe ni ya, krono koso, corruption koso. What is your job? What is your job? O ma me no papa no mutiti nkurase a wo se o tenkan ye adwuma mo no. What is your job? Now what to say corruption koso na no corruption bebre ewa what are you trying to create here? Impression men are create. And a president no. What is your job? Since Aban Weber power, and you've not been able to bring one document. You know why? Because you have nothing. When there's nothing, you want to force something. Why do people want to force corruption? When there is nothing, you can bring anything. The issue is, if you want to say corruption, because what you man saying, why will you say contract or on sorrow to so over tonight as empa okasana or tunya for follow the document and bring them and show to Ghana for. If you are saying corruption is cost, then you are involved. Because the corruption is cost now some person can be a while. Now you're comfort mumienu. Then if you know that there's corruption going on and you cannot as a journalist, also you're some troni. Also you're some troni. Oh dear, oh you're kwatibeka. Sebio, uno telepe. Oh you're kwatibeka. Now what you man is saying, what we say corruption because what is your job? Why are you sitting in the studio and telling Ghana for President Mudi Boko position? The question is, where is the corruption? You are sounding like you know where it is. Why don't you bring it out? Speculation. Journalism where we are Ghana speculation. Now, he went ahead to say, a year the nolly prosecutor, a ban will buy a cases be with him. But the issue here is, if a case does not hold ground, why should the Attorney General go through the case? Go ahead with the case. The same thing I will say, the Attorney General, will discontinue cases. We are talking about how many people facing trial now. Until you are saying, the fight against corruption. The fight against corruption, this government is doing well. Because you know why? How many people are standing trial today? You are talking about cases they came to meet and did not continue. Now, how many people too are facing trial today? Oh, you are looking at only the right hand. Look at the left hand and do your assessment. Logically, you are not making any sense. The government came to power. They looked at some cases. They feel those cases, from the evidence deduced from it, it does not hold any power. They discontinue the case. This same government has over 70 people standing trial now. Some have even been there in the history of Ghana. 1 year jail in 25 years for Galam Seda. But you put now why I want to tell a part two all because you want to create problems where there are no problems. You want to create an impression. Now, enkrana wotina obitias enkrigwa try and say what didn't no no unim corruption na auto and we only omo na ebo omo a say omo corrupt na jo Mahama bedu no later no o ye kronfo okomoma usika omo wie sika ma omo ma usika sha ho ene ja ntumi nka no nti unim say omo wie sika but because they give you money no ntumi nka. Hey, corruption ekoso. Listen to this twerp. It is radio so.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was yet the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals, there are no major scandals. Hey, NDC mpamuchoma mamutimu nyamudu muna mwa pa muntia. And you're my koso. And you're my koso. And if you are not careful and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. Yeah. In fact, the fight against corruption, because they are more weakened. The nolly prosecutor and withdrawals of buy. And it's something about so the fight against singular move. The fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
And no it weakens your base.
What kind of analysis or tell it to do? Analysis better than this. About power. Is this the first time a Attorney General filing nolly prosecutor in Ghana? Let's go back to Apachino time as Attorney General. Is this the first time in the history of Ghana Attorney General Biaba office a case way they want to discontinue it? Is this the first time? But in the history of the Republic of Ghana, see that the fight against corruption, the NDC, they have done well. Because in the history of the Republic of Ghana, no Galamsey Kingpin has been jailed in the history of Ghana. See that 20 years. In the history of Ghana, this is the first time about 60 people are standing trial for different kinds of corruption. You sit there, now I want to tell a party say, no, you are not making sense. Look at a thing with some reason. You are talking like corruption. Hey, NDC for corruption equals so. Now corruption, I don't know can we because corruption is also the only one can want to commit crime. Now to work say corruption, that means you are speculating. If you are not speculating, then you are involved. But only say corruption is also. CEO say amoko birthday parties ko mu fie no omo no maboma no omo mu sika eni tira mutumi nka into betina wa corruption dey because o ka ho But so as a journalist who is legit in discussing issues, you will point out and show evidence. When I was exposing the NPP, I didn't come here to just speak. I showed you documentations. Why can't you do that? Because money are politicians and the chess cano and it's on to me cano. Because what stops you from exposing the corruption? Because that's your job. You are the gatekeeper. You are supposed to expose them. But you sit here and you speculate. If you are not speculating, if you are not taking money, tell us who is corrupt in this government. Edian kwasia journalism no. Corruption equals to who only obi you form you mutu mi ko appointees wako jiska. Mo ko appointees wako jiska de bia. Mo ko appointees wako jiska de bia. So you are scared to talk about them. Because some of you have contracts in this government. Who obi ni omahene. Mo ko appointees wako jiska. Someone said they're legitimate. Why can't you mention? Because if somebody is stealing, why can't you do it with documentations to prove a point, to let Ghanaians know say Juma wo no and yet because of obi na no kora person di uye wi or tell part 2 Obama say alewa otetwa kan kwasi asem, and this is the kind of journalism they have done for years. Speculative journalism. Yanki kansem aban wo so nkwa de obi wie sika. That's fine. Where is your evidence? Aban was some quite obi wiesika. Where is your fucking evidence? What is the Ghana and Kwasiasam na mo say mine? Ye be Mike Tuma or Funche bia peso kasa. Tell me, because you are thieves, you are criminals, because you are taking money from appointees and ministers, because they are giving you money, you are scared to mention exactly who is involved in the corruption. Why should I be scared of a politician, an appointee who is involved in corruption? Why should I be scared? It is because you are thieves. We are before. So you are always speculating. Then I stop you from saying it. Now let me kill another Jandam, the same two stupid dogs.
One other reminder was here, they come home, and it's been almost 2 years in this administration. If you take out the economic performance, I know credit will go to the finance ministry as fiscal managers, NABA Bank of Ghana as monetary policy managers, and the agencies under the Ministry of Finance, for example, into Obebo Gold Board and all of those other agencies. Economic performance is stellar. I mean, inflation, abaform, CD to the other currencies relatively are very stable. It is difficult to now then point to any other sector because in the last 2 years BB way abayino aya what that monumental effect it will be difficult. I think it's one thing the president may have to also watch, because yes, on the economic front, fantastic. He promised he will reset the economy. I think as far as the macroeconomic indicators are concerned, people have raised issues about its effect on the macro, on the micro, amount for the bigger one. Yes, in the bigger one, the effect on the smaller one. We can have an argument, but I think generally on the economy, fine. But when you go outside of that, now Opesa will pinpoint any other thing for the past 2 years now. Yes, you would say it's a big push. In the Ubemono, Yasuson Yomani Bebre Soa. Inti kakran kiti bebre and share dan crystallize inti you don't really see the effect of a lot of the things and I think that is one thing so was all man penyin was anyesa people will go like was there so be a throw bibi in say o man penyin wo buy apart from inflation
me say obi
omo
to nyom te said ye obusa NPP omo free SHS sa no mo to dwom no omo to dwom. And when you put in these reminders, they become upset. They become upset. See, we will continuously put in these reminders, and then you can keep getting yourself upset. You chose to lead. You chose to govern. You came to us campaigning. In fact, pleading and begging. Why is it difficult for you when we put in reminders of Nyoma Wankasa, Nyamin and Beshawu? And Nyoma Wankasa.
Yeah, but sir,
what is it?
Maybe you're buying a new master.
Oh,
Now, what I say,
Conditions, no,
well,
assessment.
then, no be an admission is not any challenge thing. Now, we are one more come court here. Moses say, obey honest person now. Council Mukana in some to Temkana, judge, you will be a investigate, will be a Adenmedi and the Queen. Of course. And as you say, you need Obi, a lot of.
But what kind of journalism is this? What kind of journalism is this? Do you have to be heard? Do you have to say something? What's the 2 Miyama will be? What the 2 Miyama in 4 years? Open monumental project. What is monumental project? When you started speaking, you singled out the finance minister. Obviously, we all know the finance minister is working well. The idea of the say they want to undermine the rest of the ministers. And let me be honest here. As much as the finance minister is doing well, if that money he's making, he does not send it to the ministers, the finance minister's work will be waste. Do you know that? So after forcing Jessica now after forcing after the budget, we release this to the various ministries. After forcing, with all due respect, will be inefficient. And everybody is going to blame him. The same thing we are blaming Ken Ofori-Atta. Because Ken Ofori-Atta took the money and kept it. So nothing was going on. But you people cannot tell me that you are seeing nothing at other ministries. What kind of deliberate nonsense are you people doing? If there's nothing to talk about, don't talk about anything. Because you can go to the health ministry. You see what they are doing. You can all see. The foreign affairs ministry. We are seeing what Okudata Blakwa is doing. The roads are being built in Ghana. In the history of Ghana, a road is being constructed from Accra to Kumasi highway, alternative to what is being built. We are talking about other ministries, a Greek ministry. We are seeing the impact. What are you talking about? What monumental thing are you talking about? Say, abandoned and Sakikawi. Because that is why we have ministers. That is why a government comes in, a president comes in and say, whoa, sheweso, whoa, sheweso. That is why they read budgets. That is why even within the budget, some ministries get more money than others because we have to prioritize. We have to make sure, say, no money be the move faster chamber. You yourself, Obi, when you were speaking, you were saying, say, dot development around. Maybe it's about to crystallize. What do you mean by that? It means you gave the government 4 years. Now, when you are constructing roads, does it take 2 months to construct a road? Wait, Jimmy. When you are building a hospital, does it take 2 years to build a hospital? When you are basically, as a health minister, as an agric minister, when you are building a market, 24-hour market, does it take 2 months to build a market? So you yourself, you have answered the question. It needs to crystallize. That is why we didn't give them 2 years. We gave them 4-year mandate. So when you give a government 4 years and the government comes in and the finance minister is the only one that you can say he's working at, without the people who are also ministers making sure they are put it to use, the finance minister can never be effective. Now, as much as the finance minister is working effectively, which we all agree, he has done everything possible, physically, everything nice. We respect him for that. He is very good at his job. You cannot run down any ministry because you can go ministry by ministry and you can see the impact. So, in the history of Ghana, 5,000 kilometers of road. But today we are building new roads. Where are those roads? So it is not about you people sitting there and trying to make sense. Stop this kind of journalism. Stop this kind of journalism. Oh, apart from the finance ministry, we all know Atu is excellent. We know Atu is doing the job. But the issue is, if Atu gets the money, if revenue is made, and Atu gets the money and does not give it out, how are you going to say Atu is working well? It is the money that Atu puts out there for us to see the work being done, see the roads being constructed, see the hospitals being constructed, seeing other things being done. And then the market says Atu is doing well. So don't sit there and run down every minister foolishly and say, oh, maybe the things are going to crystallize. You know that we don't take a year to build a hospital. You know we don't take a year to build a road. You know we don't. So for you as a journalist and calling yourself a lawyer or something, you need to think beyond being a petty commentator. You need to be like, okay, now I'm going to say finance minister Ayadie. Apart from that, now you ask yourself, finance minister, where does he get the money? Now you ask yourself, so all that things you are saying that they are doing spots and pots of things around. The question here is, you yourself will say crystallize. As such as saying, it means when we give it time, it will all come together. And I'm a boy. So you wanted this government to come in and say, one, budget the man roads minister on your quine in or we are near my health. No, sorry, the obey in a more. You people are not intelligent to sit on radio. Because you see, you have gotten the opportunity to sound intelligent. So right now, because there are different kinds of projects from different ministries going on, we should stop because it has scattered all over the place. We should do what? We should call one minister, sports minister, Kosi Stadium 10. Who we are now people on near Fair Health Minister. You are not making sense. You people are just foolish. You are not making sense. Now listen to them again. This does not make any sense. What kind of journalism is this?
One other reminder was here, they come home, and it's been almost 2 years in this administration. If you take out the economic performance, I know credit will go to the finance ministry as fiscal managers, NABA Bank of Ghana as monetary policy managers, and the agencies under the Ministry of Finance, for example, into Obebo Gold Board and all of those other agencies. Economic performance is stellar. I mean, inflation, abaform, CD to the other currencies relatively are very stable. It is difficult to now then point to any other sector. In the last 2 years, BB way abino aya what that monumental effect. No, it will be difficult. I think it's one thing the president may have to also watch, because yes, on the economic front,
what is bigger than a government coming into office, moving fuel from 26 to where it is today? What is bigger than a government coming to power, moving the dollar from 17 to 10? If that is not monumental to you, then you are not fit to sit behind that mic, because the price of fuel affects everything. It ripples down. Now, when dollar at the end of the day is weakened, it basically have positive impact on local businesses. So what kind of monumental thing do you want them to go and build a ship? You are stupid. Let me tell you, you deliberately mentioned Bank of Ghana. You deliberately mentioned Sami Jemfi. You deliberately mentioned the finance minister. But the fact of the case is, there are revenue generating agencies that are making these people work better. Yes. You can sit there and, with all due respect to the people you mentioned, fine, they are working. But the fact of the case, you cannot run down any ministry. You cannot make it look like, say, because without the other ministries, finance ministry, gold board, and the Bank of Ghana are ineffective. That's a fact. Then if these are the people who are doing a monumental thing, then it means let's shut down every ministry and let the three agencies work. It doesn't work like that. That's not the kind of argument or discussion we need to have. You are basically making people know so only answer. It looks like if people are doing PR work. No finance minister in Ghana today, nobody in Ghana today can doubt the work of Ato Forsen. Solid guy. Nobody in Ghana can question Ato Forsen's work. Nobody in Ghana can question Sami Jemfi's job. Nobody in Ghana can question the Bank of Ghana governor's job. But the question here is, without the other people working in collaboration with them, their work is not going to be effective. And that is governance. And John Mahama Betumeyi, Gold Board, Bank of Ghana, no finance, or CSA, Munye Jumano. It doesn't work like that. So if you are looking for a monumental job, what is bigger than the dollar going down? What is bigger than the fuel going down? Because fuel going down, it is the effective work done by the energy minister. For health facilities to be working effectively, it is the good job that the health minister does. When you talk about people not dying on our roads, it is the effective work Abuja does. We are talking about different ministries working in hand, because revenue collection is coming from all these avenues. It ends up on the table of the finance minister, and then it goes back for developmental work. So how do you sit on TV, on radio, and let it look like nobody is working because maybe you have favorites? The nonsense should stop. The Majisika Beka should fucking stop. Munja is Hajibino, and it's go and see the work Tor is doing. Every ounce of day, every cent Tor makes, it goes to the energy ministry all the way to the finance ministry. So how can you say nobody's working? The finance minister is exceptional. We all know. Obi Anyampan can Ghana man for the rest of our lives. But the issue is he needs to work with people. He needs to also coordinate with people. The Bank of Ghana governor is not working alone. He needs to make sure revenues that have been collected, he saves them and gives to the finance minister to deliver. So we are talking about different agencies working together. You cannot run any ministry down. You cannot do that. That's not journalism. That is not what we called for. That is not what we want as a people. You sit there. The government has been in power for just 2 years. Now you yourself in your statement, you say they will crystallize. What do you understand by crystallization of something? You mean when time is given, when they are allowed to work for the 4-year mandate we gave them, then we will get to the end. But you sit here and you yourself use the word crystallize, and you are still saying that you don't see any monumental project. For the past 8 years, who say you can't be Ghana? But at least in 2 years, you will see you can't so kumase. I didn't question journalism no. When Jais idea no. Mami kakranko school, me mano. That kind of journalism. Let's cut it short. Let's cut it short. We are seeing the effect. Go to the lands ministry. See the work Amakofi Boy is doing. See the work Amakofi Boy is doing with NIMOs. They are all over the place. Today in Ghana, I can mention ministry from ministry. People are putting in effort. You just want to bring some disagreement in the government. You just want to run down some ministries. What is monumental project? And it's also be see a cathedral. Multi cathedral you were the same fool sitting there. You're Pentecost for you're support to Kufuor's vision to build a cathedral. Kwa champagne cathedral dia wo. Cathedral yes asma yare ho. But through Mahama care and they are building Catholic whatever had clinics around the nation. Kwa sia wakuma yare mae. Who am I? Why I got to say hotel wakuma yare basisia Mahama cares omakuma yare hospital and what is monumental? We are talking about development. It can be small, but the impact on the people and the society. NPP by a whole like general hospital, they broke it down. Agenda 111, they could not put one to work. What is monumental? I didn't say a suntra. No, it's about its effectiveness. One village, one dam away. But you yourself are saying it is crystallizing. I can show you things this government is doing now and have a positive impact directly on the lives of people. We can have the argument in a day, and I can make the argument and make Ghanaians understand some stop this kind of dirty journalism. Because your freeway, your event in your freeway, no American no, that nonsense should stop. Look at the issues and speak on the issues. Jesus Christ. I don't know Jimmy sir.
Yama o kwan se be yejuma. Ejuma no want man ye. Obi abeye ejuma yi na sese wotena abonten se yema o kwan ye ejuma no bi mengin de se Ghana for be penesa yema o kwan se be ejuma ejuma no want man ye obi abeye ejuma yi na sese wotena abonten se yema o kwan ye ejuma no bi mengin de se Ghana for be penesa yema o kwan se be ejuma ejuma no want man ye obi abeye ejuma yi na sese wotena abonten se yema o kwan ye ejuma no bi mengin de
we jina mu yedede no aso we hotel your kitchen we an musala maka hotel ase no hotel say mo hotel enya no ho no mbo de bra amam 42 ma sledge ti omo yire no so wo say hotel aye den hotel de so no do oye bi odo kan bro ogina so asemesi sledge gina yire so de bia wo say hotel aye den hotel de so no ate ho isokura ote ho asemesi kura de match de ko de akoma sledge do ebe no nya fin e wo Ghana me mamo be 1 month bi na mo jimi ho teta mo ho kwasiafo mo jimi mo ho sa mo tumi kasa papa bia hotel de so ote ho esokura ye esokura enya kura nti se pede so ote ho at least obu ni pa asemesi ya tam de akoma sledge mo pe location be mamo do ebe no nya fin ne enhwe okurum ha me see OSP Sir sledge $97 million or Jeffrey Abayho. The OSP needs to come out and tell us the investigations how far, because what I know is that you, the OSP, you deliberately took that story, that case to set Sledge out, to set him off, to free him, because and also your investigation will be until you find and Sanka Sledge, because Sledge is dating Samira. Bring your investigations out. You. Yoko boss, you want to say our mouthpiece and a black rasta. We don't care. Sensitive issues, not about black rasta. We don't care. That issue, the same issue. You have decided that you are not going to come out with the investigations when it comes to Sledge wife, no? If she's guilty, let us know. If she's not, why are you keeping her passport and keeping her in there? You people need to account to the people. You people think we are stupid, right? And we are going to make sure the right things are done. Most of them are tele. And tele the sort of home. And you're going to say pay the obunpa. Asimesi abozege otifie na slaja fa machine ko. Me say the be no me king e NPP mu. The last time ma Baumia spokesperson again and a nice kokохwede no warn me say wo you are not matured enough to be in this ring. So our ring in here a dangerous ring. It is crazy. It is not a ring any the kind yet. Enti unye ready na me tese oya kwarawa bomidin na hoya momobo. Also Dr. Dien spokesperson for Baumia. Hwe. O dear wo some catch us say tia break. O nice kokохwede pe baby tina. Pe baby na den fa otusi because o me change gear. Na last me catch them ade bia eba no. Me say endu 2020 election na party na gu munya ni pampo mani njina. Me na me catch them. I will destroy everything. Me gu no. Muntie. Me say 2028. Me say munya candidate na me platform me gu no finfram psychologically munya obi mani nya adwene clear embe campaign me na me catch them mu hu bibi da some say mabodam mo say mo de mo betuma bibia yeti krom ha we will see what will happen now. And meti assembly, and this is a statement from the Mayor of Accra. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly has directed all Aboboya operators to install reflector stickers on their tricycles by the end of August 2026 to improve nighttime visibility. Accra Mayor Michael Pakpo Alote also directed riders to wear reflective clothing and stay off inner lanes, warning that offenders will face sanction. Accra Mayor Wakasa or say from August, by the end of August, Wauchi Aboboya bia one crying, making sure say Aboboyano there are reflectors on it, and also now Uchi Aboboyano Oshe reflecting and that's a reflective clothes. Now, dear Mayor and I want to say this. Mo amoten crying and I say mo say Accra peaceful. And mo so Accra are orderly. Are you people not seeing it when it comes to discipline in Accra? And I can tell you one of the finest hard-working mayors in Ghana right now, Accra Mayor. And you people live in Accra, you all know it. You can see it. Nyoma na mayor so be through some obey. He does it. He makes sure so obey demolition obey. And this guy is bringing some discipline in Accra when it comes to working effectively and making sure that people are not crying. See the work this man is doing. And every single thing our Metropolitan Assembly Naibia, he's there himself. On your armchair, you, Mayo. And you all can attest to it. This guy is there. Unless one friend, because that's his job. On your armchair, Mayor, now to work a brofo, now just suit. This guy is on the ground with his team. And in Ghana today, Zuba does not play. Zuba is not a joke. The Accra Mayor is serious with his work. Now say Accra first, now I am sure. Don't say you don't see it because he will grab you. Udin kwasi asem or come after you. He will make sure the right thing is done. He will discipline you. So these are people who are working, diligently working, and people we are seeing it. I was in Ghana for a month. I saw how the Metropolitan Assembly, the AMA, they are working. You could see them everywhere. Sometimes some people decide to use their politics, but the guy knows his job. He's ready. John Mahama picked the right person to be the mayor of Accra. Where you want to South to you cannot come there and intimidate him. Or no on political appointment, be MP. His job is to be a mayor. And that is what we have been looking for all these years. This statement from the mayor, I respect it and I support it, but I believe, say, we can do more. You see, the way these Aboboya riders, some of them are so indisciplined. I feel, say, Mayor, after this directive, you need to basically add more to it. Because some of these Aboboya riders, they are okay, most of them will not do it. Because they feel say they can do what they like. Among fast takers and Aboboya, some of them are not going to do it. Okachom say, Omangasan say atadia light toswa, a very reflecting me who say nipa some of them are not going to do it. I believe say you should take it up a little bit. I think say you need to ban Aboboya from plying our main roads. They should be off our highways. Highways. Mayor, this is the first step you are taking, and I respect it. It is great. It is good. Nyansa wumupa. Recently, accident is here. Nipa be 12 we Aboboya and causes our problem no. And from my sources, 5:30 a.m. now we wearing chalote and making sure the fire service comes in to clear the road. That is what we want effective mayors to do. But I know what you are trying to do. You are trying to protect lives. You are trying to bring some decency on our roads. But I know how recalcitrant Ghanaians are. Some people just don't follow rules. And to be very preventive, what we need to do is let's ban Aboboya from our highways. They should not use our highways. So I already saw Aboboya never use the highway in Ghana. Because the speed of Aboboya, highways and so, I don't think it is right. So, Mayor, this is right, but I think you should push it further. You should make the laws tighter. Let's, along the way, ban Aboboya, Mema Omunfa, Main Street Biaso, Highway Biaso. They can use the neighborhood streets and do whatever they want to do. But say highway to say, Ofanko Road, Winneba Cape Coast, so let them not apply. Say, oh yeah, Aboboya ne Chiwa, Mayor, Monfa. Mra. Na so obi twi Aboboya, na so okofa highways ne chi na so ko dembe 10 years. I think that's what we're supposed to do. We are not banning you are not banning Aboboya from working in Accra. But we Aboboya ankwa dia, we place any highway no so. Stay away from the highways. Because okay someone in free in Alemu, they are not going to listen. And to protect them and to protect the people in other vehicles, just get them off the highways, get them off. Don't let them ply the highways. Catch them say, where bet show our highways and walk off from Mra. And this is supposed to be done with all due respect. I'm begging you, Mr. Mayor, this is supposed to be done. And now you're the ball and the highway, and so if you break it down, accident to be see, you know more than I know. So I beg you, some of it must mom samra we enka we home. Share reflective clothing. Make sure you have stickers. Nobody should ply highways. However you get to your destination is a problem. But no Aboboya should be on our highways. Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, we all support you. One of the best mayors in Accra. For a very long time, you've gotten a young man who is ready to work every single place. Demolition, cleaning gutters. This guy is effective. And I will urge the president to keep people like this. They understand the people. They understand the people they live with. They grew up with the people. They understand the dynamics. Now, asem way asem a me pese me ka ho asem. You see people with physical disability. And the omo demonstration. Now we demonstration no. And na omo ko pie Jubilee House omo ko present your petition. Na ye nuanom asebio ebi enho aka omo ni efra. A omo hu ade. Say omo ye unemployed graduates ene de keka ho. Enti omo ebo enwi bibi so. Enti omo de omo petition come up a Jubilee House president in Sanka. Now, Omudru eye Jubilee House and a president of the Republic appointed a presidential staffer. Say, yenya no mo me Ghana need to say aba Jubilee House abontene ko na kwaje o manu asem na fabre president. Ye ka say obi a presidential staffer. Enye adwuma bia na president betuma ye. They are technically Jubilee House ministers. They have been assigned work to do. Because some hono ejuma no mo ye na o se ti o ka. Enti when there's bibi to say demonstration na ye tu obi free Jubilee House, it does not matter who he is, how old he is, his qualification. The moment the president appoints somebody from Jubilee House to come and receive the petition, that is the president coming to receive the petition. Now, something interesting happened today. Yen you know sebio modi dem ebi mi hu ade almost embo enju nyoma bi so no ekodru Jubilee House wo no ene esuma eye Dr. Samuel Aye sebio oye Dr. Papa bi a oye djuma Jubilee House as a staffer. The president recognizes him. The responsibility ni be say they will represent the president at so many functions and everywhere. Now, President to Dr. Aye say onko na onko je petition onti o mano asem na onfa mbre no. Dr. Aye ko du ono ka kire ne say sebi oye nanu anifrafo na sebi omo ho aka na omo ye dem so ka kire ne say ono oye low level e wo Jubilee House nti omo mfa ma no. Hey, Radigana pa. Omo say Dr. Aye no to them to omo ani and to them no in their head no or a small Jubilee House. Normal president in Ankasa. This man is a presidential staffer. He's a doctor. He represents the president. Just
like you are rightfully indicated, you are speaking on behalf. So just like you have rightfully intimated, you are speaking on behalf of your colleagues who have resolved that they wish the petition is being delivered to a senior most government official. As I stand here, I'm also a senior member of government at the office of the president. And I'm standing instead of His Excellency the President. So if you think that the President has sent me to receive a petition on his behalf, and in your opinion, I am a nobody, and because of that, you will not give me your petition, well, that is a position you can also have. I respect that decision. There's no problem with it. You can wait to a point in time where you think you've met the right person to deliver. You have that opportunity. Let me convey His Excellency the President's best wishes to you for the opportunity and coming. Thank you very much.
So we should wait for you.
What day? Oh, yeah, so we should wait for you. Fry egg and eat. And yes, some crana is to a Ghana. Nipo Joe him sebio, but this is so. Unim, sebio. Yanum sebio, the Frafu Abokoy. Nipo Joe, nipa bang. But when you know free, after your mark and Quasia, we start this idea. After your mark and Quasia penny we are and start this idea. Nana ya jantua, o di ma menatem. After your mark and say, or no, Eddie Baumia, Naba, president, and came for a buoma baumia. After your mark di Nana ya jantua tem. Adaya, she is just coming to receive a petition for the president. After your market dinner, Ghana TV so Eddie ma menatem. None of the day was asking Yenya emma etna radio so TV so Facebook defend afenyo marking. Na nkwasiafo mu bi nkwasiafo ye tie na kasi yedi motema na emo ya. Girl ya de nufu se Tom Brown bag ya amadoku o se de ndien a ne ho nkwara bebere se wansini not wo didi na ya aja nto atem adan ya afenyo marking kwasia ne di ma me na tem. Maame na president asoma no se ombeji petition no afenyo marking ti hu kaka wure di maame na tem na enya oba odwonso okonkum e de se amadoku a na nufu tare ni ma se tomran bag kan kwase asem o TikTok na me hwe o mo se mo ho ye mobo mo ma na bi politics e jimi mo politics e jimi mo e ma na bi na mo Ghana no politics ayem nkwase ayem slaves na omakotena TikTok ni Facebook didi na ya aja nto atem ade ne ono ba na so hwe when nufu se tomran bag o nkwara obiara ne papa na omo adentra afenyo ma kra jimi nti ye nyina e ko support no na omo da na omo no mu di mu ma no ye di mu atem a mo se mema mbumo na ya janto the problem we ne sen ya soma ne se o meje petition eno ano no the statement from afenyo marking whether or can sabio respectfully it is stupid, it is disrespectful. At a point, you can almost say, Nana Janto Asankopa Afenyomarking Kwasiampe Yinacho. Now, what's the value of women in Ghana? Most women in Ghana politics, most of them are so foolish. Because of politics, they make men undermine them, disrespect them. Nienya Emma to support Afenyomarking. This was something women or more NPP Musanya do Nejimi, they were supposed to revolt against Afenyomakin. Because when power changes in 42 years, numbers over power, somebody can be sent to take a petition. But Mumma be a Jiminti. Amado kwa nufu se Tom Brown bag et to work kan kwase asem nana ya agantwa e na hwoba e na hokokọ e na de so hwe no kwasea wa wo se nkrane egugu wechi be ma ndi wechi udua no afi woto no wawo udua no afi woto wa wo be miensa e di NPP agi se we communicator wejimi. And this nonsense is happening because Afenyoma can start here. MP before they start here, they don't respect the rule of law. They don't respect the presidency. Afenyoma can be no mu Jimmy. The same Afenyoma can call demonstration kobo police ni asum. And out to Ghana as a kabitele di atem. Kwasi ampenya bo police ni asum. And the two fee at to also a minister or a member of parliament. Afenyoma kwasi ampen ko Somalia nke o ma den koma hange no. Unum ubetuma bo police ni asum Somalia. Anke ya twe wase mwowu. But Jimmy when I'm Ghana friend who honorable, and we get women who are supposed to speak against his actions, supporting a foolish man. Now you Daniel only edimu atema, I must say ye edimu atemu. And more NPP from body, muju so konko muntimu ni munyansa. Mo say double. And be man kwara mu di omochi. Urade. Mo mi jamu be 1 month pe. Mo ntuma kan nyansa sembia. Mo ntuma kan nyansa sembia. And you sit in Ghana, the Biana Mujimi Mosa, you can be a Chiramonte. Yet Yamope, Namukem, where dear Temo, Namun Guinness and Nipamonia Nipanyoma. Party ne Jimmy Moisam confirm. Mutua 30 centimeters no see, Munimunyansa. And a Biana Yanumi Omodi demi, eh, because the Afenoma can eh, no, Omuye, Nayana wa Uhiamwa. O better present Tiwasem, who could do a old chedi on Bejo paper, eh. Woda uhiam wana sebio yene anuma muhwedi dem no a muhiam wano a president to obi so mbeje no masoma no tenten se a confirm se monje monkofie nkodai afemiti se ba ku bitie should we wait for you fry egg ye boa wo kura ntumi muamo ye beto ye boa mo kura ntumi muamo because we the politicians nkwasiafo bi echi na mo act it se omo into mo fama aye na ka se wankata nantefa kwa obehu kwan Adibu amuya na amana di krompo se beke biamamo. Se si amon fama ayen ye bia pron se fakọ president office obehu kwan. Ye boa mo amon pene. Aden NPP before the nkwase se me beto system nim ema obia so no di ekire. And that's what I was saying. Let's help each other. The kind of journalism I want to Ghana see ano. And the misinformation they are trying to peddle. The kind of disinformation. The sentimental kind of politics, the tribalism, the unipower de etano, yambene, enye juma bibo, mumpe another strategy. Dia mo yen emfawu. Yene international, international fight. Ye ura inkura kesia so. We don't deal with people, we have numbers, platform, reputation. We don't deal with kids. Yemba back bim, yemba low. Any mundu ya level and back and forth. No, and then nobody did any come papa. Because me Ekobedu, I am Ghana CNN. I am never going to work with Obonu FM. I will never work with Ash FM. Obonu FM, sorry. I will never go down and go and work with Inshira FM. Go down and go and work with it. No, I am up there. I'm doing CNN stuff. I'm doing real analysis. I am doing real journalism. I will not lower myself and come and work with Akontomra community radio. I will not do that. Now, Contemporary community radio doing South Central community radio. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to waste data. Into more and more a contemporary community radio. Money a contemporary community radio for Nonko.